Bum, bum, bum. I have returned. So I have returned, folks. I'm back. I'm still getting used to this. I'm getting used to a lot of things. Just to recap real quick, my computer kind of crapped the bed about a week ago. On Monday last week, actually, right at the start of week of what ifs. That's what really irritated me more than anything else. So I took it in. They couldn't fix it, so I had to break down and buy a new laptop. It's a nice laptop, absolutely. But first off, I'm getting used to the camera on this. My original one, you get the standard screen with the camera on it, but you usually have like a standard size. I can already tell you right now, this one I'm going to need to work with a little bit just to get used to where it is, where the size of the video screen, all of that. But for right now, everything's working again. I'm back to doing the videos. Now, couple of quick things before I get into the actual video. Which Lantern Corps does basically Team 10, Shikamaru, and everything like that belong in. This week is just going to be a normal week. It was supposed to be the week of who would win, but because the week of what if was supposed to be last week and they didn't do that, it didn't really feel right to do a week of what if. Or the week of who would win without doing the week of what if. So I'm just going to make it a normal week, which means there's still going to be a who would win and a what if tomorrow. There'll be a what if on Sunday, and there'll be a who would win on Friday. There'll also be, movie reviews, the whole shebang. Box office. That was another video. I love doing the box office videos, and I hate the fact I missed it. I could have in theory done one yesterday, but I was still getting used to things. So for right now, it's just going to be a standard week. Come Monday, I'm going to announce what I'm going to do to compensate for the fact that there was no who would win week or what if week. So there's that. Second, and more importantly, a lot of people have been asking me to kind of, something might have been lagging there a little bit. A lot of you have been asking me to maybe upgrade my my style of video making a little bit. And I'm honestly in agreement. I've just really never had the time, energy, or, anything like those. Well, time, energy. I've never really had the time or the, ability. Like, I didn't even know the software to be able to do that. Well, I have finally added some actual video software to my computer. I was testing it out a little bit yesterday. I'm going to need to do a lot more testing. I'm probably going to need Mark's help with it, because basically I can now have an image besides myself on the screen, and it really makes me happy. But other things like, say, video reaction, like trailer reactions, it was never really all that impressive when I did trailer reactions, because you're just seeing my reaction to the trailer without the trailer being on the screen. It didn't make sense. Now I had that. I'm going to have to work through that a little bit. I'm going to be spending this week really like testing some things out with the software. But you will in the future be getting more videos that are a bit higher quality. Like, hey, we have an image and stuff like that. Let's use the image. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. The one thing about the changing over the computer when having the data transferred was the fact that a lot of my thumbnails they got lost. Now, unfortunately, the only outstanding thumbnails I was using was the Jiraiya adopting Naruto one, which I could quickly get off. The beauty of me making my own thumbnails and putting them online is they are online for anyone to find. So I just went back on line and found them. And the Lantern Corps video ones, which that one I was a little more miffed about. I'm like, because that one actually took some effort for me to make. So yeah, but then I'm like, wait, just type in, it's like, what Lantern Corps does this character belong to? There it is, and in the exact size I needed. So everything worked out. Ultimately, in the end, everything worked out. So yeah, and again, sorry, I'm still figuring out the right angle. That's actually a really good angle. It captures pretty much everything. So I'm going to probably keep it at that for foreseeable future. I digress. So, what Lantern Corps the Shikamaru and Team 10 belong in? And they are Team 10. I had to look into that. I thought Guy was Team 10. But it turns out Team 10 is Azuma. So, okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, so, right about, we got to get Azuma right out of the equation. Because I included Kurenai, so I figured I might as well include Azuma in this. Right off the bat, Azuma as it stands, he's a Black Lantern because he's a dead character. No other ring can equip itself onto a dead character, save for a White Lantern ring, which equipped itself on the Dead Man. But there's some shenanigans with that. Now, if Ozma was still alive, what Lantern Corps would he be a part of? It would still probably be the Green Lantern Corps. They talk about the Will of Fire and everything along those lines. I have to believe that you could make an argument for love because he had they weren't married, I don't think, but he had a lover in Kurenai who bore his child. So I'd have to believe that it'd either be Will or love, and if my money was on one, it'd be Will. He could kind of strike some feared individuals, but nothing that would be a Yellow Lantern. He was alive, so he could kind of qualify for a White Lantern, but, not that much. Blue, I don't think it really fit him that much. He was really not greedy at all. In fact, he was really lacking in greed. So he couldn't have been avarice. Couldn't have been avarice. In theory, he could have been an Indigo Lantern, but I doubt it. I don't see him being a Lantern Corps of Rage either. Just didn't fit his personality. He was too chill. So now we got that out of the way. Let's break it down. This is going to be one of the shorter, even though this video is already at 6 minutes. The actual segment is going to be pretty short because with Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru's the only one who's really had any true personality development, like insight into him. Whereas Choji and Ino have had bits and pieces here. Particularly Choji has had bits and pieces. But they're pretty straightforward with who they are. So it's really not hard to guess what their Lantern Corps is. Starting with Ino, most ninjas could probably qualify. Most ninjas could probably qualify for the Lantern Corps of Green. They could probably be Green Lanterns just because the job requires a lot of willpower, jutsus, everything like those, things along those lines. So, and any one of these lanterns could possibly be a Green Lantern. Any one of these lanterns. Any one of these ninjas could possibly be. Wow. Let's try that one more time. Any one of these ninjas could possibly be a Green Lantern. Man, lately my grammatical skills have been pretty shit. And my pronunciation's been pretty bad also. But anyway, so yeah, I don't see her. So that's a possibility. She can't be a Black Lantern. She could theoretically be a White Lantern, especially Boruto Ino, who is a mother, who is therefore giving birth to a new life, and therefore can qualify a bit stronger than other characters. Any character who has been I've said this before, but any character who has been a mother or is a mother I think qualifies a bit more effectively for the White Lantern Corps, just because the White Lantern Corps is about protecting, nurturing, thriving, embracing life itself, and giving birth to life definitely would qualify into that, more so than a male counterpart would. But she wouldn't be a Yellow Lantern. She just never scared anyone that much, besides like her teammates, and even that hardly qualifies, I think. She was never really known for a temper. Also, would not qualify for a Red Lantern really at all. Indigo, I mean, early Ino would not qualify for the Indigo League. I was going to say Indigo League. She would not be a qualified Pokemon trainer. She would not qualify for the Indigo Lantern Corps because she was a spoiled brat. It's kind of been it was kind of hinted almost flat out said she was a spoiled child, and therefore her personality reflected that. So there's no way she could be but she was not devoid of it. Let's be clear about that either. So therefore, because she was neither devoid of compassion, nor was she very compassionate to begin with, she could not qualify for the Indigo Lanterns. Nor was she really that greedy. I mean, despite the fact she was a spoiled brat, we never really saw anything like in terms of greed coming off her. So I could not say she was an Orange Lantern, nor is she a Blue Lantern. But it's pretty obvious. It's the Violet Lantern ring. She's a Violet Lantern. She's a Star Sapphire. She loved Sasuke for a while. She grew out of that, but then found love in Sai. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say that she'd be a Violet Lantern. Choji is he's not, neither him or Shikamaru are a Black Lantern. He's not a Yellow Lantern because he really never scared anyone that much. Save his fight with maybe Jidambo near the end. No, he does get angry when you call him fat, but is that really rage? Is he really driven by it? I mean, in that moment, in theory, you could give him a Red Lantern ring, but I wouldn't do it. If I were writing a story, which let's be clear, all these Lantern Corps for Naruto's are precursors to a what if in the future. So in theory, I might give Choji a Lantern ring. But if you're asking me what ring I think he would get, it's not red, that's for certain. Nor is it violet. In fact, he never really showed any sort of like feelings towards anyone, like romantically. And then we find out he wound up with Karu. Was it Karui? Karui? Or Karu? Anyway, we found out he wound up with her. We're like, where the hell did that come from? He's now not. I mean, take out his incessive consumption, but it's not. But that doesn't. His appetite doesn't come out of greed. His appetite comes out of necessity, given his jutsu, his family style, everything along those lines. So, and just a large appetite. So that doesn't come out of greed, and therefore I can't include that as well. Blue is a Blue is a weird one. They're crying. I'm doing my crying impression there, everyone. That'll be interesting if I have like just a photo here and I'm doing voices like, oh my god, did he get the guy to do the Gamapunta? I can do a really good Gamapunta. I'm crying. Anyway, I digress. So, Blue is a weird one because I'm sure Choji has faith in others. But Shikamaru certainly placed a lot of faith, aka hope, in him. So he had belief in him because he knew Choji had strength. But that's just Shikamaru. Now everyone else later would come down and put their faith in Choji later on in the series. I mean, not to like this extent Naruto had it, but certainly to some level. And Choji had a faith in himself or hope that he could better himself. But at the same time, is that enough to really say he would be a Blue Lantern? I say there's a slim chance he could be a Blue Lantern, but I wouldn't be a bet man on him. The two best categories for him are the White Lantern Corps and the Green Lantern Corps. And if you were to ask me which one I think is better, well, theoretically speaking, fathering a child technically would be same as mothering a child. But it's not quite the same concept, or in terms of, the mechanics of giving birth to life. The man doesn't give birth to the child unless you're a seahorse. The woman gives birth. But that being said, you do need the man to get the woman pregnant. So, I mean, I guess it could qualify a little bit more than a guy who's not a father. But I mean, I'd have to go with Will still. I think it's just he spent a lot of time trying to better himself, and I think that would be the best fit for him. Now, I don't know how long he'd be able to hold a Green Lantern ring, at least in the beginning, because he does have some confidence issues, particularly some self-image issues that he has with himself, just because people tend to make fun of him. Lastly is Shikamaru, and look, this is a no-brainer. He can't be black. We hardly ever saw him angry, if at all. He is a little on the scary side. Like, he does intimidate people on just how intelligent he actually is. But we really can't give him fear. Here's the thing. Indigo is a weird one with Shikamaru because he's so neutral that it's hard to tell if he's really being compassionate. Like, he's compassionate to Choji because Choji's his best friend. I think in that regard, he might be able to qualify for a Indigo Lantern ring. I wouldn't theoretically give it to him if you were to ask me, but he could. Also, Blue. Again, not much to say in terms of a Blue Lantern. Really, to me, it comes down to the White and the Green Lantern Corps, and only White because he's alive. Frankly, I got to go with the Green Lantern Corps for Shikamaru. I think that one is one of the most easily defined ones because his sheer intelligence, the fact that he's able to push himself as far as he does, when he has to stall the sound ninjas in the tuning exams, it takes a lot of willpower to do with what he was doing because he was running on empty, and yet he still manages to show off his intelligence with someone like Tamari or my hair, or with Hidon and stuff like that, he's able to persevere and continue to fight through. Even though he was like, very, hurt by Asuma's death, he was able to persevere through that. And that is one of the defining traits of willpower, is to be able to take what's given to you, and if it's positive, embrace it and move forward. And if it's negative, push through it and move forward. It's like, it's how Rocky said in Rocky Balboa. It's like, life's not about how hard you get hit, how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. And that's essentially willpower. And Shikamaru took a lot of that, and he persevered through that. So I got to go with Shikamaru for Green Lantern Corps well. So let's just recap. Ozma, if he were alive, would be the Green Lantern Corps. But he's dead, so he's a Black Lantern. Choji's a Green Lantern. Shikamaru's a Green Lantern. Ino is actually most likely a Violet Lantern, but with the possibility of being a White Lantern as well. I think those are actually the two that make the most sense. With actually, I think, a third option being the Green Lantern Corps well, because her abilities are mind control based. But ultimately, what do you think? Do you think, what do you think, which Lantern Corps do you think these characters belong into? Sorry, lately maybe I really need to learn to slow my roll down. Lately I get too excited, I start to talk too fast, and I lose the word I'm trying to, formulate, and therefore I start to just stammer and stutter and run over my words and get mud mouth. I gotta really learn to slow my roll again. You got good. Oh, see, I'm doing it right now. I was able to do it for a while. Like, I was able to really slow my roll, things along those lines, but I get excited and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and therefore I kind of, speed through it a bit too much. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to try to slow my roll for the future videos. Now, I am going to pre-record the Who Would Win and What If tomorrow. Or for today, sorry, for tomorrow. Because schedules change a little bit for me at work, so I'm going to be gone most of the day at work. So it makes sense for me to get these done today, and then I can just upload them tomorrow. But yes, the what if, it's going to be, given how long I think the video will be, anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, it will be the last part of the What If Jiraiya adopted Naruto series. That is the longest series I've done. Someone, I can't remember who, I think, I don't want to name names, because that's not nice to name, just call people out. Oh, that's not true. I'm not saying anything there. So, what question mark had said that my longest running one is actually the What If Naruto took the Scroll of Sealing one, and I looked into that. It's not. That one went up to 17 videos. This one's well into the 20s. So this is the longest video series I've ever done. With the Jiraiya adopting Naruto one. I will be starting a new What If on think words here, on Sunday. And then another new What If on Wednesday. I always have two different What Ifs going, because I do it 2 days a week. So it makes sense to just do it 2 days, have two different videos going, and, and people can get some variety. But I'm going to pre-record those later on. So anyway, I digress. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superman, Magic, What If, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let us know. We'll get to that at some point as well. So, movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I missed Lion King because I was unable to do a video on it. And you know what? Not being able to talk about anything like movies or related or anything like that really put me in a, like, just a kind of like, I don't really, because Lion King, I wasn't like hard pressed for Lion King. Like, I want to see Lion King, and I'm still going to do that. I think I'm going to do that this weekend is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on Thursday, and then I'm going to see Lion King over the weekend. But I'm like, yeah, I want to see Lion King, but it's not like Avengers or John Wick or Godzilla. It wasn't anything like that where, like, I need to see this regardless if I can talk about it on the channel or not. Nah, it was just, okay, I'll see it a little later. But anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time, or technically a little later. Anyway, later.